Greetings, mighty companions, and welcome back to Transforming Relationships Through a Course in Miracles with the Quinns.
And you know who?
That's
Holy
right.
Spirit.
In the house. Coming to you live from this holy instant. And we are going to talk about a Course in Miracles and how we can use a Course in Miracles in our relationships. All of our relationships.
Wow, that's a practical idea.
Yeah. Anybody got any relationships? Yes, all of them. I have all of them. And so do you. Truly, if we're all one, then we have a bunch of relationships. We got all of them.
Yep.
So we're going to be talking about how to have a new perception and a new purpose in your relationships that enables you to have relationships that are heaven on earth.
Sounds good to me.
And that are a healing garden for all the world to come and take their rest and comfort in.
So we don't have to wait for heaven. We could have it now.
Yeah, exactly. We are the bringers of heaven. Heaven is ushered in through us, through our relationships that we've given a new and higher purpose than the purpose we had in the past for our relationships.
Well, I hope we don't get hit by any meteor showers up here.
Up here, oh, yeah, exactly. Watch out. Whoop, there goes one. Yeah, if you see any falling stars, just let us know. And then we got little ancient civilization to Greg's left. So we got the cosmos and the ancient civilization going. So we got it all. Remember, we're in a relationship with everyone and everything, everywhere, at all time. Gosh, I have a lot of relationships I didn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think I would like to get them right, get them happy. So we're going to be reading from A Course in Miracles today. And if you would like to follow along with us in your Course in Miracles book, as some Course in Miracles folks like to do with our classes, then we are in chapter in the text in chapter 6, section 1, the message of the crucifixion. So, and we're going to be talking about, the name of the whole chapter is the lessons of love. So we're going to be hearing the first things we need to hear and understand before we get to experience what real love is. There's a few things that we got to hear in our lessons on love. And the first thing we need to hear is about what anger and attack really means. Something that we do a lot in our relationships, Unfortunately, there seems to be a lot of anger and a lot of attack going on in our relationships. And that's why they hurt so bad sometimes. And so the first thing that we need to hear in the lessons of love, what is real love, how to experience real lasting love, is we need to hear about what anger and attack really means.
Okay.
So when it says the message of crucifixion, it's like the message of attack. What does attack mean? Where is it coming from? What's the premises of attack? When does attack happen? What does attack mean?
And what is attack?
Yeah, that's what we're going to hear about.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing that it says in this section, chapter 6, section 1, is the relationship of anger to attack is obvious. Okay, we understand the relationship between anger and attack. When I feel angry, I attack. Okay, that's obvious. But the inevitable association of anger and fear is not always so clear. So it seems obvious that the relationship between anger and attack, but it doesn't seem as obvious when you're talking about the relationship of anger to fear. That's interesting when you interpret fear as and when you interpret anger as, oh, that's fear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fear.
Yeah, you usually don't put those two together.
Right.
You think anger creates fear.
Right.
You don't think of it as coming from fear.
Exactly. And so that's something we need to learn about in our relationships.
When the other party in our relationship is expressing anger, they're really expressing some form of fear.
Yeah, but do we respond to the fear? No. we respond to their anger,
Mhm.
and we respond to it as attack. How would you respond to people's anger differently if you knew that the real source of their anger was their fear,
Mm.
not just a desire to attack you? Like, oh, they're angry with me
Mhm.
because they're attacking me. Attack me.
Yeah, we always give two totally different responses. If I knew that you were afraid,
Mm-hmm.
fearful, my response is going to be much different than if I thought you were angry, coming at me with anger.
That's right. Very
In
different.
fact, fear, I'd be apt to feel compassionate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And
Mhm.
then if you responded with compassion, you would be responding to what was my actual perception or feeling or emotion. And then my fear would go away
Mhm.
because you responded not to the anger, but to what I was really feeling behind the anger.
Mhm.
And that was fear. So you would be answering my real deeper call for love. And then it would be that fear would be gone. And so would my anger.
Hmm.
Okay. That's what it means to answer a call for love, is to recognize that in people's anger and their attack, what's really motivating it is they're calling for help. They're calling for love.
I'm afraid.
Help me, I'm scared.
I'm fearful.
That's why I'm so angry and attacking. So that's what it means to recognize a call for help and a call for love,
Mhm.
when other people are in their ego, they're angry, they're attacking. Okay. This is one of the first things we need to know so that we can have a new type of relationship that's increasingly joyous and loving and abundant as it grows. So, first thing we need to know is that there is a relationship between anger and fear. And now what it wants us to understand about anger, not only that all the anger is coming from fear, but also now anger always involves projection of the upset of the false, projection of the belief in separation. So anger is always a projection of responsibility and blame onto someone else, besides my own belief that I'm guilty and that I'm separate. Okay. So anger always involves projection. That's the first thing we need to hear. That is very startling, very shocking, very hard to believe. That it's very hard for me to believe still, even though I know this is the truth.
Mhm.
Still hard for me to believe that all my anger involves a projection of a misperception that I have about myself.
Well,
That's hard to believe.
Imagine how hard it is for me to believe somebody who never gets angry. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Truly. That's a good one, baby.
Moving along.
Moving right along. Okay. So, all right. And if you wouldn't mind liking, sharing, and subscribing, that would be so helpful. Every time that you hit like, share, and subscribe, it is boosting the algorithm so that it will send this content to more people. So we need that, and we need that kind of help when it comes to this kind of material.
Mhm.
Yeah, this material is not that popular with people who want to keep their anger and they want to keep their anger. They feel like their anger protects them. They feel like their anger is fully justified, and those of us who feel that our anger makes us safe. We all have a touch of that, at least a little of that belief that my anger keeps me safe, right? So, so then it says, so anger always involves projection of the belief in separation, which must ultimately be accepted as entirely one's own responsibility. Wow. So, anger always involves projection of the responsibility for your own perceptions, your own misperceptions. Okay. If I wasn't having my own misperceptions, I wouldn't be upset, and then I wouldn't be projecting out in anger. All right. But I think my anger is coming from them. You know who, and because of what what they're doing. That's where I think my anger is coming from. And that's why it never changes and goes away. I just find new things to feel angry about. Woo wee. It's been a great day. I found 6 new things to be pissed off about.
Now, Anna and I went to the gym today, and we were both reading over this lesson as we went to the gym. And I know you got a download there.
I did.
Did it happen to do with anything with the war in this section?
Yes, it did. It did. And so, maybe we should get in, maybe we'll read that in a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I was in the
I haven't
sauna
heard it
thinking, I was in the sauna thinking about this lesson, and I started asking higher self some questions about, well, how do I apply this to the world war that's going on right now?
Mhm.
And that brings me to what I titled this lesson in this class. I titled this lesson, If Anger Ain't Justified, Then What Is?
Right.
Because that was a question I brought to Spirit. Well, if anger isn't justified, because it goes on to say that. So first we'll read that. Then what is justified? What is the response? What is a response that is justified when you feel and you perceive yourself as attacked? Or when you perceive that, psychopaths have taken your country into a world war where lots of people are getting attacked and you might get attacked, If anger isn't justified at that, then what is justified?
Then you feel fearful about it.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. All right. I just want to do something right here real quick, see if I can. I don't know if I can, but okay. Let's try that. All right. We're getting too yellow there. Okay. Beautiful. Hi, Irene. Lovely to see you. So I got the download. So maybe a little bit later after we get to that part.
All right.
Thanks for asking, baby.
Of course, baby.
Appreciate.
Doll.
Only my man would ask about the download I had at the gym.
In the sauna.
In the sauna.
My baby had a download in the sauna.
That's my new name, Anasana. Anasana. That sounds great. Okay. I am in the sauna a lot, as often as I can. Okay, so again, we'll read it again. Anger always involves projection of your misperception, your misperceptions, which must ultimately be accepted as entirely your own responsibility. So there. Okay.
All right.
Another thing we don't believe yet, but is true. That does help if you apply it, even if you don't believe it. To say, okay, I think I hear you saying, Course in Miracles, that my anger is a projection of my misperception.
Mm-hmm. And my anger is something that I need to take self-responsibility about.
Yes.
When are we ever angry? And we ever take self-responsibility?
They don't go together.
No.
Because if
we're angry because
exactly, because somebody did something to us that wasn't our fault.
I'm putting the responsibility on them.
Exactly.
Not me.
And if I really knew that I had somehow in some unconscious way manifested a reflection, a mirror of my own wrong beliefs about myself, then I wouldn't be angry. I'd be like, oh, look at that. I still think I'm guilty. Oh, my goodness. Spirit, please correct my misperception that I'm still guilty. Right? You wouldn't be angry. You'd be asking for correction of your misperception that now you realize that you're projecting. So you can't be angry without also projecting.
Right.
Woo, I just don't like, my ego does not like that at all.
Mm-mm.
I like to think about when somebody's angry with me and be like, they're just projecting. But I don't like to think of it that my anger is a projection of my own misperceptions that have nothing to do with them. Okay. So now it's going to tell us about the truth about anger. You ever wanted, if you ever wanted to know the truth about anger? Okay, here it goes. Anger cannot occur unless three things happen in your mind. You ready for those?
Mm-hmm.
What are the three conditions that got to happen in your mind for you to be angry? Okay. First one is you have to believe that you have definitely been attacked. Okay. That's condition number one for feeling angry. Okay. The second condition that you have to meet before you can become angry is not only do you believe you have been attacked, but that the attack was unjust, it was completely unfair, which means the third condition for anger to occur is I am in no way responsible for that attack. So those are the three conditions, those are the three premises that I have to have believed in order for me to be angry.
Okay, I've been attacked.
I've been attacked, check.
And it was totally unfair, unjust.
Totally
I
unfair.
didn't deserve that.
I didn't deserve that at
Didn't
all.
do anything.
I've given only love to everybody all the time. Like Greg said, I never attack. I'm only loving.
And because it was unjust,
Mhm.
naturally,
Yep.
I'm not responsible for it.
In any way.
They are, or that is.
Obviously. And that's why I'm angry. Okay. Now, Course in Miracles knows that you do not believe that, because obviously, if you believe that, you wouldn't be getting angry all the time. And we all still get angry a lot. I don't know about you, but I'll speak for myself. I still get angry a lot, especially as I'm looking at the world war that's happening. I've been extremely angry, which means I've been profoundly projecting my own misperceptions.
I've just been getting stuff done around the house.
But great, good job. Thank you. Somebody's got to stay sane.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to stay in their right mind and clean the house also. Thank you. Okay. All right. I'm so glad you haven't been having any anger at all. I'm so glad. You just keep doing that. Okay. So it says, given these three completely irrational premises, I've been attacked, the attack was unfair, and I'm in no way responsible for it, then the equally irrational conclusion that somebody is worthy of attack rather than love follows. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you believe those completely three irrational premises, I've been attacked, it was totally unfair, and I'm in no way responsible for it, then the next obvious conclusion that will follow is that that person is worthy of attack instead of my love. Okay. So
yeah, one of the radical concepts of A Course in Miracles is every time I am perceived to be attacked, I brought that on to myself. It may be coming through something else, somebody else.
Mirrored.
But I requested it. I planted a seed already.
That's right.
I gave attack, and now I'm getting what I gave.
Yep.
And we don't see ourselves attacking. We just see ourselves
being attacked.
Stating the obvious.
Yeah, we don't see ourselves attacking, but we do see ourselves being attacked. Right. And so that's right. So, and if it, let's just say, theoretically speaking, that you had never attacked, you'd given only love to everybody all the time in all situations. Okay. And somebody attacked you, you would not see that as an attack because you didn't perceive yourself as deserving attack because you never gave attack. And so when they attacked you, you would only see a call for love. You'd be like, oh, you poor dear. Are you okay? Do you need help? Are you all right? You must be afraid. Right. So if I had not given any attack, when somebody attacks me, I wouldn't see it as attack. I would see it as a call for love, a call for help. Okay. Okay. So then Okay, so he said, given these three wholly irrational premises of I've been attacked, the attack is unfair, and I had nothing to do with it, I'm completely not responsible for it, then the equally irrational conclusion that somebody is worthy of attack will surely follow. Okay, now, paragraph 2. Hi, Mary. Yes, exactly. We don't see ourselves attacking, just being attacked. Yes, I think I'm just perfectly loving all the time. And the only time I ever attack is when it's justified. So, so that's why I don't deserve any attack. Okay. So now we're on paragraph 2. Wait, yeah. So what can be expected from insane premises except an insane conclusion? The way to undo an insane conclusion like they deserve attack rather instead of love is always to consider the sanity of the premises on which the insane conclusion rests. Okay, so now we're going to reconsider the premises on which my anger rests. Okay. Okay. So the premises on which my anger rests is I have definitely been attacked. And also it was totally unfair. And number 3, I'm in no way responsible for it at all. Now we're going to reconsider those 3 premises. Okay. First premises, I have definitely been attacked, is this: you cannot be attacked. Say what? What'd you say? What'd you say? I didn't really hear that. What do you mean? You didn't just say I cannot be attacked, did you? You cannot be attacked. That's what A Course in Miracles is telling us. Who you are as an idea, a spiritual idea in the mind of God, you can't be attacked. You can't be hurt. You are created by God. You can't be attacked. You can't be hurt. Okay. The second irrational premise on which my anger is based is this attack, their attack on me was totally unfair. And then the answer to that is attack has no justification. So, but your attack, you say, oh, this was unfair, and so my attack is justified. And then the truth is attack has no justification. And then the third answer to the third premise, which is I'm in no way responsible for this. The answer is you are responsible for what you believe.
Not for the attack.
Right.
But
Thank
what you believe.
Exactly. So my anger is based on I have definitely been attacked. It was totally unfair, and I was in no way responsible for it. Okay. That's the premise of my anger. But the truth about my anger and attack is, number 1, I cannot be attacked, who I really am. And 2, so my attack has no justification. And why? Because I am responsible for what I believe. What I believe has results, and the perception of being attacked is one of the results of what I believe.
Right. The belief is really the underlying issue here.
Right.
If I didn't believe in that I could be attacked, then when this situation happened where most people would go, man, you've been attacked, I'd be like, no, I don't believe that.
They don't even know me.
You believe that. I don't believe that.
They didn't attack me. They don't even know me. And who and what I am as a spirit, an idea created by God, the same forever, can't be attacked. So, no, I wasn't attacked. That person was just calling for love. They were just calling for help. They were afraid.
They were attacking themselves, if anything.
Exactly. They were attacking themselves.
Attempting to.
Believing
they could.
Because they were afraid.
Right.
Because they don't know the truth about themselves. Okay. Now, if you haven't been attacking, then that is the correct interpretation you will have when other people, quote, attack. Okay. So I only perceive myself as attack when I am believing that I can be attacked, and number 2, that I believe I deserve to be attacked. And what would make me ever believe I deserve to be attacked unconsciously? Only if I've been attacking.
And only if I believe I can be attacked.
Exactly. So that's what it means to say you are responsible for what you believe. Do you believe you're being attacked, or do you believe that you can't be attacked and they are only calling for love because they're afraid? What do you believe? Okay. And what you believe determines whether you're going to be giving love to other people or attacking them with guilt. Okay. All right, great. So we've just heard paragraph number 2, the truth about anger. Wow. Hard to believe, huh?
And attack.
And you can see how if you change your mind about these 3 premises about yourself, if you change your mind about what you believe about yourself, then you can see that it is going to eliminate, at least severely cut back, your amount of anger and attack, the amount of anger and attack in your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody ever had a relationship where there was a big amount of anger and attack? Anyone? Anyone not have a relationship that had a ton of anger and attack in it? Well, okay. I guess those are rhetorical questions, huh? Okay, so here we're going to go to paragraph 3. Now, our teacher, the voice of the course, says to us, you have been asked to take me as your model for learning, okay? And our teacher, the voice of this course, is Jesus, who's saying here in A Course in Miracles, take me as your model for learning, okay? And we have said that an extreme example is a particularly helpful learning device. So, why is that? That's because everyone teaches and teaches all the time. That you teach and that you teach all the time is a responsibility you assume inevitably the moment you have accepted any premise at all. And no one can organize their life without any thought system. And so that's why once you have developed a thought system of any kind, you live by that thought system and you teach by that thought system.
Okay. Yeah, if you grew up believing that you could be attacked,
and that you deserved it.
That's a thought system.
Yep.
And because of that, you're going to teach it and you're going to live by it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I love how the author of the course says, you have been asked to take me as your model for learning. And when we hear the story of Jesus, we're like, well, that guy was attacked.
For sure. Like the worst kind of attack.
And he's saying, I can't be attacked.
That's right.
Attack is impossible.
And look what happened to him with his belief that he couldn't be attacked. When he got even murdered, the ultimate attack, what happened? He didn't die. He came back. Right? There was a resurrection that happened. Why? Because of what he believed. And what he believed was, I can't be attacked. And so attack has no justification. And I am responsible for what I believe.
And I don't believe in attack.
And I don't believe in attack, and I don't believe in death. And so the attack did not hurt him. It did not touch him. Okay, who he really is as a spirit. All right. Okay, great. So then it says something very interesting in paragraph 4. It says, you have been chosen to teach this healing plan that A Course in Miracles lines out. A Course in Miracles calls the atonement. You have been chosen to teach this healing plan. Why? Precisely because you have been an excellent example of allegiance to your thought system.
That I can be attacked.
Yes, and that I'm in no way responsible, and an attack is justified. I have been great example of allegiance to my belief system that I can be attacked, and the attack is justified. And we have therefore developed the capacity for allegiance. So we've been chosen to teach this course because we have developed the ability to be allegiant to a thought system.
Right.
Whether that
even
thought,
if it was wrong.
even if it's wrong, we've developed the capacity to be allegiant, devoted to a thought system. Yes, we have. Look how devoted we have been to our old belief system of attack is justified. Okay. Then it says, now some people have become outstanding examples of allegiance to apathy, and other people have become startling examples of fidelity to variability. That's a nice way of saying confusion. Always changing. Oh, what does this mean now? It always means something else. I'm confused. So some people, we're not saying who, but some people have been outstanding examples of allegiance to the thought system that produces apathy and confusion. Okay. Who could that be?
And that's because naturally, if you're going to believe a belief system that's not true, then you're going to be confused.
That's right.
That's just a natural outcome.
That's exactly right. Because some part of you, some deeper, the real part of you, the truth in you recognizes, oh, wait, something's not right. That's not true. What is the truth? Okay. But these, our capacity, our ability to be allegiant to a thought system, even if it's false, it's still a form of faith. You know, it's still me expressing my faith, you know. And he says, and faith is something that everyone can grow willing to redirect. Okay, so we have been chosen to teach this curriculum.
Because we have such strong faith.
Yes.
Even though we had strong faith in the wrong idea of belief,
yes,
we still demonstrate that once we believe something, we dig our heels in.
Heck yeah, man.
We grab onto that and we ain't gonna let go.
That's exactly right. That's how we are.
And the author of the course is going, you would make a great
course teacher.
If we could just change your beliefs, you would anchor down and put your heels into that belief system, just like you did the false one.
It brings to my mind Paul. You know, he was completely devoted to the thought system that Christians were bad and deserved persecution.
Right.
Well, who knew that his level of devotion to that false belief system made him a great candidate to be a follower of Jesus, right, and Jesus's new gospel. You know, we would have thought, oh my God, Jesus would never want him as a disciple. And Jesus is like, oh my God, that guy has an amazing capacity for allegiance to a thought system. Let's get that guy. Let's get that guy on our team. And that's why we have been chosen to teach A Course in Miracles. All right. Because we have the ability, like once we believe something, like we're like a dog with a bone. Okay, then it says, so you cannot doubt the strength of your devotion when you consider how faithfully you have observed your devotion to a false belief system. It's quite obvious that you have already developed the ability to follow a better model if you can accept that better model, that better teacher. Wow.
That's really amazing because a lot of us think, you know, I have to work on my faith.
Yes. So you got plenty of faith.
I have,
yeah.
Our Creator's going, no,
you got good faith.
That.
You
got that. Really, you know, when that was put in you, you never lost that ability to no matter what, you will die to the sword before you say that's not true what you believe in.
Exactly. Like that quote from, I want to say Mark Twain, but where he says, it's much easier to fool people than to convince people that they've been fooled. You know, it's like people would rather die than realize that they had been deceived, that they had been wrong. Right. People would rather die than realize, oh, I was mistaken. That was never true. Oops. Oh, well, you know, I learned to miss. Oh, well, but we'd rather die
It reminds me a little bit of this war with Iran, and hopefully I don't step on any toes tonight, but it seems like America, got some false information.
Yeah, as usual.
And we've gone in and
attacked.
We bombed a school of little girls.
That was our day one of an attack.
Rather than say, you know what, we believed that was true, and it turned out it wasn't true. I want to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, right.
No.
Right. We'd rather die than say, oh, I was wrong. I was deceived.
Or we made a mistake.
Yes.
We'd rather continue the war.
Yes.
Than to say, oops, my bad.
Sorry, I take responsibility for that. I had bad information. Yeah, exactly. So, so our teacher here is like, whatever, you have been very devoted to your false belief system, but I can really use your capacity for allegiance to a thought system. And because your allegiance to a thought system can be changed, it can be redirected.
Could you imagine our life if we could accept a new thought system, one that had ideas like you can't be attacked, and you really believe that?
Can you imagine what your life would be like?
Anytime somebody ever came to you angry and were calling you names, whatever,
judging you, attacking you,
were so embedded in the belief that you couldn't be attacked that you'd have to refrain from laughing at the person.
But you wouldn't. You would have compassion.
You wouldn't.
You'd have compassion.
Yes. And but your response would be totally different.
Yeah. And so in that way, you stop the cycle of violence. You stop the cycle of attack. One time you correctly interpret what it means when somebody's attacking you. You're correctly interpreting yourself. And then somebody attacks and you offer love instead of attack back. Well, you've just ended the cycle of violence, the cycle of attack.
It would explain why it was said to love those who hate you, because you realize you can't be attacked.
Right, exactly.
So you can't give them attack back because you weren't attacked.
And their attack was really a call for love.
Right.
So when you loved those who hate you, you're actually, giving what they're actually asking for.
And you're giving them what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to giving them what you don't want.
Exactly.
That's being fooled.
Exactly. And that goes into a lot about the download that I got tonight. So note to self.
Downloads are coming.
Yeah, sing it, baby. Okay, so then it says, great. So now we're in paragraph 5. So now our teacher, the voice of the course, says, we have not dwelt upon the crucifixion. Remember that story back then, that very violent story of murder and projection? We haven't dwelt on that story because of its fearful connotations. The only emphasis we laid upon that murder and betrayal story is because the only emphasis we've laid upon that story is that story of that murder, betrayal, attack was not a form of punishment. That's all we've said so far in this curriculum. We just said it wasn't a punishment. It wasn't like God said, Jesus, because all of humanity was bad, I'm going to punish you, okay? But I love you. That would be what I heard today. It cracked me up. Kung Fu Jesus. A guy was like, and here in the apocalypse, here comes Kung Fu Jesus. That's what they're waiting for. But it says, so the only emphasis we've laid upon the crucifixion story so far is that it wasn't a form of punishment. Jesus wasn't being punished because had been bad. Okay. That's the only emphasis. But we know that nothing can be really explained only in negative terms. which means there is a positive interpretation of that murder, betrayal, attack story called the crucifixion, which is an interpretation that is completely benign in what it teaches. So there is an interpretation of the crucifixion story that contains no attack. Can you imagine a version of that story that contain an interpretation of that story that contains no attack? Okay, that's what we're going to hear about.
If it's properly understood.
If it's properly understood. If you properly understood the story of attack called the crucifixion, then you will experience a positive interpretation of that attack story that is completely devoid of attack. This holy kind.
Now, we, of course, we believe that was just a story about attack. Because we think we understand it.
Yes, exactly.
And that's how everything is.
That's
when
right.
We're being attacked, because we don't understand it, we end up with the wrong conclusion. And when you have the wrong conclusion, you'll have the wrong response.
Yes.
And we've had the wrong conclusion because we've had the wrong misunderstanding about the story.
That's right.
And naturally, we're going to have the wrong response.
Exactly. And when you misinterpret that attack story, that old attack story that everybody's heard about, then you will continue this cycle of that kind of attack story in your own life.
And with everybody else.
Yes, exactly.
Because we believe attack is real.
Yes, and punishment is real. Exactly. And so the Course in Miracles says in this, somewhere around this section where Jesus says, you know, that story, that crucifixion story where I was attacked, abandoned, beaten, finally killed, but then resurrected. He says that story has a lot to offer your life. And if you will learn properly the correct interpretation of the crucifixion story, then it can save you a lot of wasted time with attack, that cycle of violence in your own life. Right? He says that crucifixion story, my attack story, he goes, that should be the last foolish journey that was ever taken. And if you interpret that story correctly, then you don't ever have to do that attack story anymore in your own life. And then he also says that understanding the true and positive interpretation of the crucifixion attack story will help you a lot in your profession as a teacher of truth. You know, everybody who's a teacher of truth needs to understand the positive interpretation of that story, because you know, those who speak the truth, that's who the ego attacks, right? Those who say only love, those are the ones who tend to be attacked by the fearful ones, right? And so you need to know the truth about attack, so that when someone attacks you because you're a truth teacher, that you don't see yourself as attacked and attack back. Because you can't be a teacher of truth and see yourself as attacked and be attacked.
Right.
Okay. Those do not go together. You are not a teacher of love and truth if when someone attacks you, you attack back. You see yourself as attacked and you attack back. Those don't go together. You know, instead of being a teacher of truth at that point, now you're a student. Now you're a patient again. All right. Beautiful. Mary says, that makes sense. All right. Okay, great. So it says there is a positive interpretation of the crucifixion, which is completely devoid of fear and therefore wholly benign in what it teaches, if it is properly understood. And here's the truth about the crucifixion. It is nothing more than an extreme example, period. That's what it is. the value of this extreme example lesson of the crucifixion is like the value of any teaching device. And the value of this teaching device lies solely in the kind of learning that this teaching device facilitates. The crucifixion story can be and has been misunderstood, period. You think? But the crucifixion story, extreme teaching example, has been misunderstood only because fearful people are apt to perceive fearfully. So that crucifixion attack story has been misunderstood because people who are afraid are subject to misinterpretation. They're going to interpret fearfully.
It's pretty wild that we're being told that the crucifixion story is nothing more than an extreme example. You and I, we're probably not going to experience being whipped, having a crown of thorns pushed into our skull, beaten,
betrayed by our own loved ones,
and mocked, and then
spit on,
nailed onto a cross. And the author of the course, Jesus, is telling us, you know what that all was? That was an extreme example of I can't be attacked.
That was exactly.
And if I can't be attacked and all of that was happening to me, then
you can't be.
Example is probably not as extreme, but it's the same story. Exactly. You can't be attacked.
That's right.
Jesus knew that he couldn't be attacked. He knew that God couldn't be attacked.
He knew that God wasn't punishing him.
Right. And so that, to me, that's comforting to know that, hey, if that's not an attack story, then okay, let's talk some more.
Exactly. And then he says, I'm not sure if it's here in a different section, but he says that it was an extreme example to show you that you being attacked under much less extreme temptation, you know, where you're like, oh, somebody cut me off in traffic. Oh,
somebody called me a name.
Somebody said something mean to me.
Jesus might not have been attacked, but I was.
Definitely.
They called me a bonehead.
Oh my God. Right. And so my attack is justified. Right. So Jesus is saying that he gave us such an extreme example so that our temptation to give in to attacking back would be a little less tempting, right? It's like now your temptation to give in to revenge can be a lot less tempting because, you know, of what I went through, my extreme example.
And it also makes sense that when he was being questioned by Pilate, the ruler of the area, and Pilate was like, you know, mystified. Why is this guy not defending himself? I'm telling him all the stuff that they're accusing him of. And he's just sitting there quietly like nothing's going on.
What's up with that?
So weird.
So weird. What's wrong with this guy? Is he okay? Is he crazy?
But
is he a crazy mystic?
Again, Jesus was sitting there fully in his belief system.
Fully devoted.
Yeah. Fully
committed to his belief system.
I can't be attacked.
Can't be attacked.
All these accusations are
whatever. Don't mean anything.
You know, they don't affect me.
Yeah. I mean, I remain exactly as God created me. They didn't create me. I don't have to worry about what anybody's saying about me. You know, and that's why, you know, when they're the witnesses to Jesus being questioning, were like, that dude for sure is gotta be the real deal.
Yeah.
Because none of us could withstand that kind of accusation and not defend ourselves, not attack back.
Right.
No.
To his last breath.
That's right. Exactly. And what was Jesus quoted to, one of the last things he said was not those fucking bastards. You know, his reply was, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't attacking them.
Yeah, it wasn't avenge me.
Pinch me, daddy. My daddy's gonna get you yet.
You just
No, he
wait.
didn't. You just wait. You done pissed off God now. I feel sorry for your ass. Bloop. And then he's out. Right. He didn't say that, right? At all. He said, forgive them, Father. They don't know what they're doing. Right. Total non-attack, non-defensive, really compassion. Literally, his response was not to attack back. It was compassion for the people who were murdering him.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And talk about an extreme example. That's an extreme example of somebody who has accepted the belief and now is devoted to it that they cannot be attacked because they remain as God created them, and nobody and nothing can change that. Whatever, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks of us. It doesn't matter. It cannot change who we are. It cannot even affect who we are and what we are at all. Not one bit. Somebody could kill your body, but they can't kill you, and they can't change the truth about you. If they believe something unloving and unkind about you, it doesn't change the reality that you were created in and by God. So that's what it means to say, I cannot be attacked. That's what it means. Yes, the body can be attacked. Yes, of course. But you're not that body. They can't attack you. You are not your body. All right. So then our teacher, the voice of the Course, says, I told you before that you can always call on me to share my decision about attack, and thus make my decision about attack stronger. Okay. So that's what Jesus is saying. You can always call on me to share my decision and make it stronger. What was his decision? That I cannot be attacked.
So what I'm hearing is when I'm tempted to believe I'm attacked, which will probably happen in the next 24 hours.
You know it.
Then to remember, hey, my beliefs, changing my belief system hasn't quite switched over yet. Where Jesus is not struggling at all with the belief system that I cannot be attacked. So when I'm tempted, I can always call on Jesus. I can always call on Holy Spirit. I can call on God and say, hey, what's the real truth here going on?
Yeah, I feel like I'm being attacked, and I'm scared.
I feel like when Anna threw that frying pan across the room at me,
that I was being attacked.
That I was being attacked.
What do you say, Jesus?
What is your
what's your interpretation of that,
Jesus?
Spirit? And then Jesus is laughing. He's like, honey, until they strung you up on a cross and murdered and betrayed you, no. But that's what we're supposed to do. Just what Greg said. We're supposed to ask, for love's interpretation about attack when we perceive ourselves as being attacked, so that we can allow our belief that we can be attacked, which creates attack, to be corrected.
And become stronger.
And to make that belief stronger. See, we're learning in A Course in Miracles how to strengthen our belief in that new belief system that teaches that we cannot be attacked. And we need help to strengthen our faith and our conviction in that belief system. Now, don't we? Yes. Beautiful. And Akhenaten, Sun God, greetings to you. I love your name there. I love Akhenaten. And Mary says, my guilt has been that I want to be like that, knowing I cannot be hurt. My guilt has been that I want to be like that, knowing I cannot be hurt. Trigger for my attacking. I need to be aware of my guilt. Your guilt is your trigger for perceiving yourself as being attacked. Only if you believe you deserve to be attacked, which means only if you feel guilty, which means only if you believe you deserve to be attacked, same thing. Only then, that's what makes you perceive you have been attacked.
And that's a good point, Mary, is if I feel guilty, then the guilty should be attacked,
They go together.
And so
if you believe you are guilty, like we all learned in the past, then that means automatically you believe you deserve punishment, because everybody learned that those who are guilty deserve punishment, right? We all learned that. That's a fundamental premise that we have accepted in our belief system. And now we teach it. Now we demonstrate it. And so the only way to not believe that you deserve punishment is to allow your belief that you learned falsely, that you are guilty, to be corrected for you by love, by God, by Spirit, by your higher self. Okay? That's what the Course in Miracles is all about. Okay? All right. Okay, great. So now let's go on to... All right, so our teacher says, I told you before that you can always call on me to share my decision of my correct interpretation of attack and thus make my interpretation of attack stronger. I also told you that the crucifixion attack story was the last foolish journey that anyone in the whole world need take. Wow, that's it. That'd be the last foolish journey. His journey to the cross should be the last foolish journey that anyone ever need take. Okay. That should be the last time anyone was deceived about attack and tempted to attack back. That should be the last time anyone need to be deceived in that way. Okay. And
it would be a foolish journey to allow yourself to be put on the cross, whipped, scourged, to prove that you can't be attacked.
Totally. Can't we do that an easier way?
Yeah. Can't you just say it?
Can't you just say it and accept it? Instead of be like, okay, well, let's prove this one out. Okay. Yeah. We're going to attack you in the worst possible way. We're going to betray you, abandon you, beat you, torture you, and then murder you publicly. Yeah. Not privately, publicly.
Call you a few names.
And call you a lot of names, spit on you, stab you with a spear, a few wonderful things like that. Only to go, oh, see, I can't be killed. Ha 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 ha. Joke's on you. How can you get to like, I can't be killed, I can't be attacked without like the actual attack thing? So that's what A Course in Miracles is all about. It literally says the purpose of the Course in Miracles is to save you time. This is the kind of time it's trying to save you. You can get to that lesson, I can't be attacked, without having to be crucified in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so you and I don't need to go out and try to see if we can be attacked to prove whether we can be attacked or not.
Exactly.
We could just take the easy route and accept the truth that we can't be attacked. But of course...
And spare ourselves some more foolish journeys of attack. They attacked me, and so I attacked back, which means then they attacked back, and then I attacked back, and then they attacked back, and then 10 generations later...
And you see how the beginning now ties in? At the beginning of this section, we heard, you have a belief system. And what's the belief system? That you can be attacked.
Yep.
And you believe that like nobody's business.
Oh, baby. Devotion.
On. And if we could just get rid of that belief system, making way for a new belief system, I cannot be attacked. Wow.
Yeah.
What an experience that will be.
Absolutely. Can you imagine having a life where you're not just repeating one foolish journey after another of attack? Your life isn't full of the drama and trauma of attack. They attacked me, so I attacked back, and then they attacked, and then now we've been in court for 20 years, and Now I'm psychically wounded. I have PTSD from all the attack, you know. Imagine a life without all the drama of attack. You know, it's such, I mean, all the drama is like, they attack me. No, you attack me. And that's why I attack back. No, that's why I attack back. It's because you attacked me. You know, that's what all of the drama is about. And it actually produces more attack,
Right.
more trauma and more attack.
Because we believe it.
Because we believe it. And if you allowed your belief system to be changed to a more true, wiser, loving one, then you could have a life without a lot of attack. You're not attacking people and they ain't attacking you. You know, what they are offering you is love, and you're offering them love, which is really translates into abundance and joy and fun.
Yeah. When Jesus said, "Fear not, for I have overcome the world," this is one of the things that Jesus overcame. And what did he overcome? A world belief system.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if you're in Africa,
No.
Germany, America,
Jewish,
Japan,
Muslim, Christian,
everybody
atheist,
in the world believes that they can be attacked. And they believe that they can attack.
And they believe their attack is justified, so that's what they're doing.
Right.
And then that's what they're receiving.
And Jesus is going, "Fear not, I've overcome the world."
Which means I've overcome attack.
Yeah, I've overcome the belief in attack.
Thank you. The belief in attack.
Because even though he's overcome the belief in it, we still look at his story and go, "You were attacked, Jesus."
And that's why we need to attack back.
Yeah, that's why we need to go get the so-and-sos and the who and who's.
Yes.
Because they attacked you.
Exactly. And we interpret that story that God attacked Jesus.
Right.
Because we had attacked. I mean, wow. Like that story to us starts with God's attack on us. I mean, wow. So we have completely misinterpreted that experience, which was meant to be an extreme example of how you can't be attacked. And when you accept the belief system that you can't be attacked, then you literally transcend that experience of being attacked. So maybe you get attacked, but nothing happens. You come out better. Right. You ever been attacked by somebody and you didn't defend yourself, and then you come out stronger and wiser than you were before the attack? You know, I've had that experience where I felt really attacked by somebody, and I was studying the course, and so I was like, my safety lies in my defenselessness. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. I'm not going to attack back, even though I really wanted to. And people were saying you should get a lawyer and sue that person for attacking you like that.
Justified.
And it seemed everybody agrees it was justified for me to attack back, but I didn't, because I was trying to learn. I wanted to see if it was true that I don't need to defend myself to be safe. And I did not defend myself. And the whole attacking situation literally vaporized.
And when you really get this story into your heart, into your mind, and accept it, you'll realize that all the stories, like Jesus coming back on a white horse and he's got a sword in his mouth and all of that.
Kung Fu Jesus.
That if you understand the truth, then you understand that those symbols must mean something different. They must mean something different, because I've been taking those symbols and equating them with attack, and that Jesus is going to come and attack because why? Because him and his people have been attacked, so he has to attack back.
A whole army. He brought a whole army.
That just takes everything out of what he came to demonstrate to begin with. Completely. Why would he come and attack and do something totally contrary to his belief system?
Right, his purpose.
So all of that is going to happen, but it's not going to happen in the way that we thought.
Mhm.
Just like when they thought, when Jesus first came, they all thought they knew how it was going to go down because they all
Mhm.
thought they knew what the symbols meant. They
Mhm.
thought that he was supposed to be a king.
Mhm.
He
Right.
is a king,
Yeah.
but not a king as
Not a
we
worldly
saw a
king.
king.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they figured that he would come in and start killing the
Mhm.
Romans and taking over the
Mhm.
country
Yeah, man.
and build an
Vanquishing the
and
Romans.
build an army and
Yeah, man,
stuff.
I'm telling Kung Fu Jesus.
And when he didn't do any of that,
At all.
they were all confused because they were
Mhm.
like, "Well, we thought we understood
Mhm.
what was going to happen
We
here."
we thought we knew what our scripture said about what the Messiah would do. You know, the Jews always heard that the Messiah would vanquish the Roman overlords, right? And so what Jesus came to teach was not that attack is justified, but that you cannot be attacked. You cannot be hurt by what anybody says or does to you. Yes, the body can be killed, but that's not you.
And if we accepted this, would that put this Iran war in a totally different perspective of I can't be attacked?
Absolutely.
Would I be suffering fear? Would I have nights where I'm staying up a little later worried about it? No.
Yeah.
But I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it says, call on me.
Call on me.
It's toll free.
It's toll free. Call on me. It's toll free. I like it. That sounds like a great T-shirt. And then like little quotation marks, like Jesus.
Yeah.
Call on me. It's toll free. Exactly. And we wouldn't. This war would never have even begun. We initiated this war because we believed that we had been attacked, even when we had not.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a perfect example of a big hot mess started because someone perceived themselves as being attacked when they had not. So great, extreme example again. So Jesus says, I also told you that the crucifixion was the last foolish journey that anybody on earth need take, and that the crucifixion should mean release from fear to everyone who understands that story.
Right.
So if you understand that story, what it really means, it's going to release you from fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to release you from the fear that makes you want to attack. And it's going to release you from the fear that makes you perceive that you have been or could be attacked.
Many of us have heard the saying, love drives out fear. Or you could say truth, because truth is love. Truth drives out all fear. And this is a great example of that saying, because if I have the truth that I can't be attacked, then fear is taken away.
Mm-hmm.
But if I believe I can be attacked, I'm going to live in fear all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly going to be in and out of fear because
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly looking for where can I be attacked?
How have I been attacked? And justifying my own revenge attack back.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that's going to be the story of my life. I've been attacked, and this is what I did to attack back, and that's the story of my life. Wow.
And I love that example Mary gave about guilt. It just keeps coming back to me now because it's so true that when I feel like I'm a guilty creature, I was born guilty. I was created guilty.
Born in sin, honey.
I came out of my mama guilty.
Yeah.
Then I'm always going to be looking over my shoulder and what? Yes. Fear. And what am I fearing? That I'm going to be attacked.
Paranoia.
Because I'm guilty.
Right.
But if I don't believe in guilt,
I don't believe I'm guilty.
I don't believe I'm guilty, that I believe I'm innocent, then I'm not expecting attack.
Yes.
I'm not looking for
I'm
attack.
not paranoid.
And I love that, Mary, because it puts all these pieces together. Like we're told guilt's not real
You're not guilty.
and attack isn't real. Well, they're the same thing.
Right.
And so
I mean,
what a concept.
Truly, to feel guilty is to believe that God is attacking you. It's like, I'm guilty. God's angry with me. God's attacking me. You know, I've done something wrong, and God wants to punish me. God wants to attack me, and I believe I deserve it. That's guilt.
Yeah.
Right. And the Course in Miracles is saying that that is a misinterpretation. That is an illusion. That is not true. It's not true that you are guilty, that you've done something that has offended God, and now God wants to attack you, aka punish you for your own good. That's not true. That's what we learned. That was never true. That is the cause of all the drama in our life.
If that was true, then God would be vulnerable.
Yes.
We would have a very vulnerable God because God could be attacked.
Yes, right.
And would need to attack back.
Exactly.
Exactly. Again, none of that's true.
Yeah, we're taught that our errors hurt God. And the Course says that existentially speaking, that is where our guilt comes from, is we believe that we hurt and attacked God when we ran away from God, prodigal son, and that God felt attacked by that because he's so vulnerable. And then God is now attacking us and punishing us for that sin of hurting God.
Instead of the prodigal son story where the father is waiting for, he's not sending out people to attack his son because the son left. He's not, manufacturing,
sending out the CIA
smart bombs so he can get his son when he finally shows his face again.
Yeah.
He's just waiting for his son to come back. And when does he come back? When he realizes he can't be attacked.
Yes. Right.
And when the son comes back, he still believes in attacks. He still thinks he should be attacked. And this father quickly has to get rid of what? That old belief. It's a belief.
Yes.
That underlining belief, I believe I can be attacked. I believe that I deserve attack. I believe that I am guilty. All of that belief system is what has been carrying all that out.
That's right. Exactly. Beautiful. Okay, so all right. So then it says, while we emphasized the resurrection only before, the purpose of the crucifixion and how it actually led to the resurrection was not clarified at that time. Nevertheless, the crucifixion story has a definite contribution to make to your own life, which means if you will consider this crucifixion attack story without fear, then this crucifixion story will help you understand your own role as a teacher. Okay. You got a role as a teacher, and, as a teacher, it will help you to understand your own role as a teacher. What's my own role as a teacher? To demonstrate that I cannot be attacked.
Right.
Because as a teacher of truth, as a teacher of love, that the ego is going to attack you.
And as we heard at the beginning, we all teach. And what do we teach? What we believe.
Yeah.
And if I believe I can be attacked, then you better believe that I'm going to demonstrate that by attacking you.
Yes, exactly.
And then tell them stories tomorrow in the locker room. How come I did that? Because I was attacked.
Exactly. Can you believe that? They attacked me, and so I had to attack them back.
But if I change my belief,
Mm-hmm.
then everything changes.
Exactly.
I stop attacking. I stop living in fear, and I start experiencing heaven on earth, a
Yes.
new world.
And new relationships that aren't full of attack.
Mhm.
You know, as a part of my counseling practice is I see couples, and I sometimes I share with Greg, it's intense how much attack there is in our relationships. I remember from my own past relationships just how much attack, just the relationships that are full of attack and revenge and attack and revenge and attack, you know, in these relationships where we say I love that person, but it's like full of anger and attack and wounding, and oh my god, and the longer that we've been together, it's like the deeper our wounding is with each other, you know. And so imagine having relationships that it's not just years worth of grievances around attack.
Mhm.
Like imagine having relationships where it's not, where you don't have like years of like grievance baggage from all the ways you felt attacked by them and then attack them back, right? And then they feel attacked by you, and you got compounded grievances, you know, for years of compounded grievances for all the attacks. You know, imagine having relationships that, you know, where you don't have that history of compounded grievances around attacks.
Yeah, if we're in a relationship wherein we didn't believe we could be attacked, where would be the complaints?
Yeah.
Where would be the grievances?
Where would be the attacks?
Where would be the attack back? If I don't believe
Mm-hmm.
I have been or could be attacked,
Right.
I wouldn't be attacking back.
Right. All you'd be doing is like, thank God for you. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love.
Thanks
Thank you.
for throwing that frying
Thank
pan at
you.
me, baby. I didn't even like that frying pan. It was heavy.
Right. No, you wouldn't have to worry about being attacked in your relationships. Imagine that. Imagine having relationships that are safe. They're safe shelters from the whole experience of attack. You
Mhm.
know, and that's what that is a fruit of a new type of relationship, a
Right.
relationship where you are learning a new belief system that is based on you cannot be attacked, and so your attack is not justified, you know, where you are responsible for what you believe, and you're
Mhm.
not always projecting your misperceptions about yourself onto other people and seeing that as a justification for you attacking them. Okay. So now then it says, it says, the crucifixion lesson has a definite contribution to make to your own life. And if you'll consider it without fear, it will help you understand your own role as a teacher. Okay. Why is that? That's because, I don't know if you've noticed this, but you have reacted for years, maybe lifetimes, as if you were being attacked. Right? Isn't that right? You have reacted for
We all have.
years, maybe lifetimes, as if you were being attacked
We've all done it.
all the time for years and lifetimes. Well, reacting as if you've been being attacked is a marked tendency of the separated ones. And you know who are the separated ones? That's those who always, and I mean always, refuse to consider what they have done to themselves. Woo. That's the separated ones. That's the angry ones. The angry ones, the hurt ones, the revengeful ones, the wounded ones, the angry ones. Those are the ones who always refuse to consider what they have done to themselves
By a belief system.
by their belief system that they can be attacked because they're guilty.
Another thing that makes sense is we've heard, some of us, that in the last days that the devil, the antichrist, the accuser of the brethren,
The enemy of mankind.
that when the devil has finally fallen, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says that the world will walk past it going, is this the one that
That we're all afraid of.
deceived nations,
Mm-hmm.
that betrayed the world?
Mm.
It'd be like we will be like mystified, like,
No, like
what?
like on the Wizard of Oz.
When I've read it, it's almost like a little tiny puny ant did all of this.
Like in the Wizard of Oz.
And now it makes sense. We'll be walking by going, oh, it was just a belief. That's all it was.
It was just
a belief.
just a false belief.
It was a false
That's
belief.
all it was.
Is this what betrayed the nations of the world?
Is this what we had been worshiping in fear?
This is what mankind has been fearing, is just a belief? Because we all know that you can change a belief.
Right. That doesn't seem so scary. Exactly. And also that is foreshadowing also to the download that I got today also.
And this sentence, I think we should stop at the end of this paragraph and then you read that. But this sentence, this is the marked tendency of the separated. Now that doesn't mean you're separated from God. That means you're separated from reality. Reality
and everyone around
you can't be attacked.
Yes, right.
And for years we have been doing what? Reacting to a belief that I can be attacked. This is the marked tendency of the separated. Separated from what? From reality, from truth.
And who are the separated ones?
And who always refuse to consider what they did to themselves. I did this to myself because I have believed it.
That I believed in a belief system that I was teaching, which is that I'm guilty and I deserve punishment.
Right.
And so I have been attacked and my attack is justified in return.
And I'm teaching it every time I attack somebody else because I'm demonstrating that I believe I can be attacked.
Right, exactly.
And it's just as simple as that.
Yeah. And then it says something really hard to believe, but it's an encapsulation of what we've been saying about what this section has been saying. It says projection means anger, and anger fosters assault, and assault promotes fear. So that's what we're talking about here.
The 1, 2, 3 punch.
Absolutely. Projection means anger. Anger fosters assault, and assault promotes fear. That's how we get all the drama in our relationships and in our world. And that's why our world is at war again.
Because
always.
Because it believes it can be attacked.
Exactly. And it's teaching that belief. It believes that belief system, and it is teaching it and continuing it.
We call ourselves in America a Christian nation, or you could say a God-fearing people, but yet we are not God-fearing at all. We're us-fearing. We're fearing each other and attacking each other and thinking we've been attacked. So craziness.
Yes. And so the real meaning behind the story of the crucifixion is the idea that you can be attacked. That's the real meaning behind the story of the crucifixion. This story means you believe you can be attacked, and this is what happens when you believe you can be attacked. Okay, but the idea that you can be attacked is, of course, impossible and must be fully understood as impossible. In fact, unless this idea that you cannot be attacked is fully understood as only that, impossible, you cannot, Jesus cannot serve as a real model for learning. So you can't benefit from that extreme example, that teacher, unless you accept the fact that you cannot be attacked. Now, it goes on to say, we won't have time to read it all, but it goes on to say, yes, assault can be made upon the body. Of course, there's little doubt that one body can attack another body. But the truth is that since that's not you, then it's still true that you cannot be attacked. Yes, the body can be attacked, but you cannot be attacked.
And
Okay.
it goes on to say also that God didn't create the body because the body can be destroyed.
Yes.
We look at the body being destroyed as the evidence that attack is real.
That's right. That's right. And then skipping forward to paragraph 9. So the message of attack, the message of the crucifixion attack story, it was intended to teach that it is not necessary to perceive any form of assault as persecution because you cannot be persecuted. Wow. The first thing that came to my mind was IRS.
Mm-hmm.
Swear to God. I was like, but I can be persecuted. No, persecution is real when it comes to IRS,
Mm-hmm.
And CIA. Okay. All right. So I still believe I can be persecuted, obviously, but this lesson is teaching us, it's meant to be an extreme example, teaching us, demonstrating to us that we cannot be persecuted. We cannot be attacked. Okay, that's the whole lesson of that. That's the whole meaning of that lesson, that extreme example, okay, given to us by our teacher, who was like, okay, I'm going to do the last foolish journey just to demonstrate that the truth is true. You cannot be persecuted. You cannot be attacked. Even if your body is killed, you still can't be attacked. You can't be killed. And that's the real meaning of that story. Now, if you respond with anger to attack, it means you must be equating yourself with the destructible and are therefore regarding yourself insanely. Okay, then paragraph 10. I love this one. You are free to perceive yourself as persecuted if you want to. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the freedom. You are totally free to perceive yourself as attacked and persecuted if you choose.
You're perfectly free to believe a belief system that's not true.
That hurts you and keeps the attack and anger and grievances going in your relationship forever. Says you are free to perceive yourself as persecuted if you choose, but you might remember when you do choose to react that way that I was persecuted as the world judges, and I did not share this evaluation for myself. And because I did not share this evaluation of myself as being persecuted, I therefore did not strengthen the belief in attack. And I therefore offered you a different interpretation of attack and an interpretation of attack that I do want to share with you. And if you will believe this different interpretation of attack, then you will help me teach it. And then as you teach it, so you will learn it. If you react as if you are being persecuted, guess what? You are teaching persecution. If you react as if you are being attacked, you are teaching attack. And this isn't a lesson that the children of God should want to teach if they are to realize their own freedom, their own liberation from attack.
Okay, baby, read.
Beautiful.
Read your download.
Okay, now I'm going to read my download that came from this section in the sauna. Okay. The title of it is same as the class. If anger is not justified now, what is? Okay. And the now is referring to here we are, world at war, World War III, et cetera, totally insane. Okay. If anger is not justified now, what is? So from A Course in Miracles, from tonight's class, quote, anger cannot occur unless you believe you have been attacked. The attack was unfair and you are in no way responsible for it. But the truth is, as we heard in this section, You cannot be attacked. Attack has no justification, and you are responsible for what you believe. I asked God, God, if this be true, that attack is never justified, then what is justified? What is justified in this situation where the enemy of man has pitted us against each other, nation against nation, religion against religion, neighbor against neighbor? This most cunning enemy of man sows its poisoning seeds between us, planting false flag attacks among us that we would blame each other for. And then we do this devil's dirty work for it. So this most cunning enemy of man sows its poisoning seeds between us, planting false flag attacks among us that we would blame each other and do this devil's dirty work for it. So God, what is justified in this worldwide war where humans are being played as pawns? God replied, well, what is justified? God replied, what is justified? Well, what do you want? So I'm asking God, well, what is justified? You're saying anger is not justified, and these psychopaths have taken us to war over, false premises, and we really weren't attacked. You're saying anger isn't justified, God. Well, what is justified? God says, what's justified is, what do you want, Anna?
You want anger?
Exactly. Do you want anger and more war? God says, what is justified? Well, what do you want? To which I said, well, I only want peace and safety for myself and everyone else. And then God says, well, if this be your sincere desire, my child, then the only action that's justified here in this world at war situation is to teach only the truth and to demonstrate only love. And then God says, teach the truth about the lies the deceiver tells, and show the world that love is the only real power. So, the whole thing is like, anger is not justified. Okay, well then if anger is not justified, what is? Okay, what is justified is to teach the truth, about the lies the deceiver tells, which is what you've been attacked, and that your attack is justified and you're in no way responsible for it. That's the lies the deceiver tells you. Tell the truth about the lies the deceiver tells you.
And that's what Jesus was doing. He was teaching the truth.
Yes.
And that's why Pilate was amazed that he wasn't making any response.
Yes.
Because he was reacting as if somebody that hasn't been attacked.
Exactly.
And that's what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
Yep.
And that's how he was teaching it. He was reacting the way somebody would react.
Yes.
That wasn't being attacked.
Exactly. He was teaching the truth about the lies the deceiver tells us, and he was showing the world that love is the only true power. So that's what's, if anger isn't justified, then what is justified is to teach the truth and demonstrate only love.
And love and truth are one and the same.
And love and truth are one and the same. Exactly. So, okay. So that was my download. Thanks, baby, for asking for that.
You bet.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. And that will be in my blog section of my new website, Divine Revolution ARQ. All my writings these days are on my website in my blog section. And here's my divinerevolutionarq.com. And also, I've been telling people that twice a month now, I'm doing Zoom Q&A sessions for members of my website. So if you'd like to do a Q&A session then go to my website, become a member. It doesn't take much. And then we can have an awesome conversation like we did today. We did our first one today, and the conversation was very beautiful and deep. We had some amazing questions that came in, and where we went with those questions was awesome. So the next one is March 17th at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And the Zoom invite is made available to those who sign up as members on my website. So, all right, you guys, let's see. Mary says that was a great analogy and about Jesus, an extreme example. And thank you guys. Mary says you guys have good harmony.
Oh, thanks, Mary.
I love it. And then Mary also says, what a freedom to know you cannot be attacked.
Yes,
I mean,
indeed.
Talk about real power, real freedom, real peace, knowing you can't be attacked. Oh my God, how different will our relationships really be when we accept that belief system?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining this conversation. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And thanks for being you. Thanks for coming to this healing circle. Love you guys.
Thanks, guys. Love you.